Good day to all. I am Dr. K.R. Kolammal from MBA department. Today we are just going to see a topic on personality from organizational behavior. So going on with the personality, we just want to know actually what is personality. When people see someone and they say that they are having a good personality, it seems that their outlook, their dressing sense and etc. But when it comes to a management point of view, we don't see only the outlook. We also see the in-depth characters, the traits, the behaviors, the way actually they perceive the situations and the reaction to the situations also. That is what a personality according to the organizational behavior or as per the management concept also. So, to go in depth about actually knowing what is personality, we are going to just check out what are the different types of personalities we come across. The first one is the big 5 model personality, where we just see the oceans. That is, I have put you here the 2 extreme levels of the oceans. That is a person who is having a low cadre and the person who is having a higher cadre, and the factors which is going to actually affect the personality of a person. So, the first one is, as its name has been mentioned, it's ocean that you are going to come across. So, the first one is the openness. How well a person is open enough either to the situation or to the person is going to have a communication with. So, when he is going to have a lower cadre, he goes with the paradigmatic or the traditional way and he has a structure like I have to speak to a person like this only. Whereas when it goes to the the highest score process, you will be able to see a person who gets adapted to a situation, who has a broad mind and who doesn't prepare himself to come to a situation as such. The next one is conscientious, that is the person how well he is able to react to it. So, when it comes to the least one, we usually see a person who is literally inattentive, who is not even concentrating what he has to do and no belief on themselves. But when it goes to the higher cadre, we will able to see a person who is perfectly organized, who is more attentive, who wants to learn so many things. The next one is the extroversion. As the name goes itself, extroversion is the person who talk more. Actually, when we have the least score, we see a person who is totally aloof, isolated and keep completely silent. But when it goes to the person who is actually a high cadre, a person who is an extroversion, he talks more and he gets socially moved with the organization as well as the people whom he come across. And it's a better way of learning it from the other people also. And the next one is agreeableness. Certain people, they don't agree what actually is the comment or what actually they want to learn also. So, we have the 2 extremes of the least as well as the highest score. Whereas the highest score people are more tolerant, they are flexible enough, or the main idea is I am going to learn something from the new person whom I am getting introduced to me. And the next one is neuroticism. As the name goes on, it's in connection with your brain. Okay? So, it goes with the composed, a balanced process. Actually, this is the least cadre, but this has both the negative as well as the positive in the different streams. Like when you are in the lower cadre, you are in the positive zone, and when you go to the extreme limit of the higher cadre, you become negative, or the person who is unstable, who is insecure and more aggressive. The next model is the we call it as MBIT, the Meyer-Briggs model. In this also we have split up into 4 personalities that you are going to compare, like your extroversions or introversions. You become sensitive, you become thinking and feeling. To go in depth to it, I am just going to say you what is actually the process of dividing these 4 personalities. So, introversions, a person who gets insecure, who start talking to themselves rather than speaking to the person and to the situations and reacting to it. Whereas extroversion is the person who knows what is going to happen if you are going to tell any feedback or any criticism, and rather he is also going to accept criticisms from the other person. And next is the person who is sensitive. Actually, the controversy of sensing and intuition is that sensing is before going on to a situations, we start predicting or we start sensing that this is going to happen. Whereas intuition is something that is going to happen after we meet the situations as such. And then we have the thinking and the feeling process, whereas thinking is I project myself that this is going to be the situations and I am going to react to it. Whereas the feeling is the process where I come across the situations and start understanding what my situation is and I start getting the feelings of it. And the last one is judging and perceiving. This is the most crucial one, where before we come across the situations or a people, we start judging it or judging the person. That's actually supposed to be a problematic one when it goes to an organizational process, because unless and until we meet the situations and a person, it's very wrong enough to go for a judgment rather than perceiving the situations and taking the call as such. And the next method, it's a famous one where we divide the personality into 2 main categories, like type A and type B. Type A personalities, we can easily coin these personalities as the people who are already crossed the age of 40 or 50. That is the person who are more ambitious, aggressive and also they are competitive. That is, they fix up the goal. They say that this age group I have to achieve this. After this age I have to achieve this. That's why we have a category of people who usually coin their goals towards a government job as such. But the opposite characters are today's generation people, that is the type B personality. That is the person who never care of anything. They just walk away with the situations, and whatever comes in the way, they start accepting it, and they take up the trial as and when it comes. They don't have a projections, they don't have a forecasting, but they don't have the pressure also of exiting something also. The next method is the Riasak method. That is the point in which we see the realistic. That is realistic in the sense when we come across certain things, when we experience some things, we learn from it. And we start developing our character or personality on that basis. The next one is investigating. Any situations when it happens, instead of reacting it immediately, you enter into your process of actually investigating why it has happened and what is going to be the change or what is going to be the outcome. That will automatically change our personality or the way we see the problem as such. The next is artistic. It's completely an innovative person. That is, I'm coming across the situations, I know I have a stability to handle it, but at the same time, I should have an innovation process where I can go for an imaginary way of handling things. The next one is your social, the way I move socially with friends or with the organizations or with my colleagues as such, learn from them, give my learning to them, and then start handling the situations. And the next is enterprising. That is the person who has a pure leadership goal. He doesn't have, or he or she doesn't have the process of actually projecting what they wanted, but start learning from what others are doing it. The next is conventional. It's purely a basis of doing a research of identifying what can be done to overcome the process. The last personality types is disc personality. That is, we divide each person into these 4 main categories. Till now we have been seeing the different types of personalities that we have come across, or rather the personality which suits us. But these are the major criteria for dividing the people. That is, first one is dominance. As we usually say, the person who is actually dominant enough to implement, I want this, it has to be done. So there is no room or space for you to go for a discussion. Whereas the next person is influence. They also do the same thing, but in a much advanced manner of knowing what a person is and giving them in the same way, whether they understand the situations and come along with us. The next one is steadiness. That is the person who actually initiates an amount of cooperativeness with the organization and with the employees as well as with their subordinates. And conscientious is the people who systematically do certain things and also make others to do it. To wind up, we are going to see the theories of the personalities. So till now we have seen what are the different types of personalities we have, and now on what basis actually these personalities have been built. The first one is, as the name goes, it's a psychodynamic theory. It has been found by the Sigmund Freud's method. He's a person who actually knows, it's a psychological way of understanding a people, learning it from their experience and imposing certain things on that. And the last 2 theories are humanistic theory. As you know, the main person, the Maslow's theory and Carl Groger's person-centered theory. That is basically what is human expectation, what he wants, and how well we are going to make it into a coordination and the output. The last theory is social cognitive theory. This has been profound by Bandura's and Rotter's locus of control. That is, they are focusing on the society needs, the society development, and coming back to the process of leadership. I hope you understood whatever is the personality traits and also the types. Thank you.